So today I want to share with you some of my favorite sewing tools. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so first I like to share with you what I use to mark circles and triangles and different dots and things on my fabric. So I like to use these Crayola Ultra Clean Washable Markers, and they come in several colors, and these are really good because they come out, you know, when you put them on, they come out, they come out in the wash, so you don't have to ever worry about them leaving behind any stains. And I really like these. They have a nice chunky tip, and they're just very helpful, very handy. The next thing that I like to share is what I like to use to clean my iron. And this is a little stick, and you take it and you get the iron hot, and then you rub the stick up and down the, what is it called? I don't know, the outside, the metal part of the iron, and the stick will kind of melt onto the iron, and then you rub the iron down onto some fabric and it will clean it off very well. This is a really good product that I like, and it's really helpful. It really gets the job done. Your iron will be really clean afterwards. Next, I like to show you what I like to use for pattern weights. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I purchased over in their floral section. They have a bag, they have several bags of different types of rocks and different sizes of rocks. And so I just picked up just a simple bag of black rocks, and they come in different sizes and different widths. And I use these for my pattern weights. So when I'm putting down my pattern piece onto the fabric, then I take the rocks and I place them on top. And I like to use these because they come in different sizes. So if I need to make sure that the pattern is flat in a corner, I can just use a smaller rock. And then, you know, if I have a big piece in the middle that I'm not too concerned about, then I can use one of the big rocks. So that's what I like to use for my pattern weights. And then I do like to use the rotary cutter, and for my 45mm blades, what I like to do is purchase them on eBay, and I like to get them in bulk, and they are a lot more reasonable than I have found them anywhere else. So I've used some of these out of here, but I believe, I can't remember how many I had, if it was 5 to 10 or something like that, but I just found a seller on eBay and just purchased these there, and it comes in handy just because I save money that way. The other tool that I like to use in my sewing room is an actual, what would you call it? It's something that you would find at a hardware store, and it's a laser level, and it has a red light. Let's see if you can see it. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a red light. And I have a video showing exactly how I use this, but basically what I do is I like to take the laser level and I place it down on my cutting mat, and then I make sure that my pattern piece is lined up on the red line and the green line is straight. And then it makes it a lot easier to make sure everything is even, and then I just cut everything out after I do that. So I will link the video below if you'd like to see how it's demonstrated. The other thing that I like to use in my sewing room is a Dritz magnifying glass, and this is what it looks like. This is really handy because you can use it if you're, or at least I use it if I'm trying to thread a needle. So you can not only can you see through the bigger glass, but then there's a little smaller circle down at the bottom that you can use to kind of help you see what you're doing. You can put it around your neck if you want to, so that you can hold it somewhat like this, and this is adjustable, so it comes up and down and moves up and down. It also has a light on it, so you can turn it on and kind of see things even that much better. And yeah, it's very handy. I like it. It sits on a table, so it sits flat, not flat, but it's flat on the bottom, and then it has a little curvature at the top, so it leans back and you don't have to use, you know, one hand to hold it. You can just sit it flat on a table, so it's very handy. The last thing that I have to show you is a journal. I use a journal in my sewing room because I like to keep track of everything that I make. And then if I need to go back to look at something, you know, to read my notes, then I have everything there. I know that there are several great binders that you can buy out there, or journals, I'm sorry, that you can buy. But what I did was I actually went and made my own. And I just went to Word. I went on a Word document and I typed up what I wanted my journal to have on it. So you can do this. Mine just has the, you know, the date that I made something, the pattern that I made, the fabric, what I learned, my challenges, my notes. So I just created something simple on in Word, and then I made an index in the back so that I'll know what page different items are on. So it's just a simple line drawing that I just made in the back. And then after I did that, I printed about 50 sheets and I took it to Staples and I purchased the card stock right here, and it's called a chipboard, and I got the chipboard from Hobby Lobby, but you can buy them online. And then I just took the paper, the chipboard, and I took it to Staples and I asked them if they could punch holes in it. And then I already had some spirals because I was gonna do, I did multiples of these, and so I purchased the spirals somewhere else. So I put the spirals on myself, but Staples has a way of putting spirals in and different kind of closures to keep your papers in there so that they won't fall out. So that's what I did, just something simple, but I do think the ones online that other people have made are much better, but this is a nice, you know, quick, easy fix, and it works for me. I like it, so that's what I use in my sewing room. Those are actually all of my sewing tools that I have. The love share that I have for today is actually a tip that I read, and that is to take a command hook and you can stick it on the side of your sewing machine. I'm looking because mine is over there and it's stuck on there right now. I'll show you a picture of it. But you can stick a little command hook on the side of your sewing machine, and then you can hang things off of it. What I use mine for is I hang my small scissors off of the command hook, and so it makes it really handy when I'm looking for my scissors and I need to do something. I know exactly where they are, and I just reach up there and I grab them. So that's it, and you might like to do that in your room, in your sewing room, or on your sewing machine. All right, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.